You breathe all day, but have you ever noticed that something else is breathing with you? Not your thoughts, not your emotions, something deeper, something older. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the hidden part of you that you've rejected, buried, or denied. It doesn't go away. It simply hides until you're quiet enough to feel it. And here's what no one ever tells you. Your shadow lives in your breath. The tension in your chest, the breath you hold without realizing, the sigh that escapes without warning, all of these are messages, not from your mind, but from your unconscious. In this video, we're going to explore how your breath reveals the parts of you that have been waiting, sometimes for years, to come home. You'll learn not only how to recognize your shadow through the body, but how to breathe with it, listen to it, and finally, welcome it. And if this already resonates with something in you, something quiet, something real, take a breath. And if you're ready, leave a like. Not for me, but as a signal to yourself that you're ready to hear what's been silenced. Let's begin. We all want to believe we're whole, that who we present to the world is all that we are. But deep down, we know it's not true. There's something behind the smile, something underneath the calm, a part of you that didn't disappear, it just went quiet. Carl Jung named this hidden part the shadow. But it's not evil, it's not dangerous. It's simply the pieces of yourself that were not allowed to exist in the light. As a child, maybe you were told not to cry, so sadness became shame. Maybe your anger was punished, so now you swallow it until it burns in your chest. Maybe your joy was too much, so you learned to dim it. The shadow is made from these buried expressions, from everything you were told not to be. And here's the truth Jung taught. What you hide doesn't die. It simply waits. It waits in dreams, in projections, in repeated patterns, and more quietly, in your breath. Before the shadow shows up in your behavior, it shows up in your body. The way your chest tightens when someone gets too close. The breath you hold when you feel unworthy. The shallow inhale when you're afraid to speak. The shadow lives in these small unconscious acts, in the breath you take without noticing, in the breath you don't take at all. To work with the shadow, you don't need to go digging through your past. You just need to start listening to the one place where it still speaks clearly. Your breath.
Your breath is not just a physiological rhythm. It's a mirror. And what it reflects is the exact state of your unconscious. Even when your mouth says, "I'm fine," your breath might be whispering, "I'm scared," or "I'm hiding," or "I haven't felt safe in a very long time." When Jung spoke of the shadow, he wasn't referring only to repressed emotions. He was pointing to a disconnection, a place inside you that no longer feels seen, not by the world, but by you. And the body remembers. Here's what most people don't notice. A shallow breath often hides unspoken fear. A held breath might signal suppressed anger or control. A rushed exhale can reveal panic, guilt, or the pressure to move on. Your nervous system responds not just to outer stressors, but to inner denial. The more you push the shadow away with your mind, the more it shows up through your body. This is why your shoulders tighten when a memory surfaces, why your jaw locks when a truth rises you're not ready to say, why you sigh unconsciously when you finally stop pretending. And yet, your breath is not just where the shadow hides. It's also where it waits to be met. The breath is the threshold, not between inhale and exhale, but between avoidance and awareness. When you begin to observe your breath without trying to fix it, without trying to do it right, you give your shadow something it's rarely received: compassionate attention. And that alone can begin to soften what's been frozen inside you for years. To listen to your shadow, you don't need to analyze, interpret, or even understand. You need to feel. You need to enter the body, not to fix it, but to listen. The shadow doesn't scream. It whispers. It speaks through tightness in the throat, through heaviness in the chest, through the breath you unconsciously hold when something feels too close. Jung believed that integration requires dialogue, not only with the mind, but with the parts of you you've silenced, and the body is fluent in silence. Here's how you can begin. Sit quietly. Place your hand on your chest or belly. Observe your breath without changing it. Ask softly, what am I not allowing myself to feel right now? Or even more gently, what part of me wants to speak through this breath? You may not hear words, but you will feel something shift. A sigh, a softening, a release, or even a tear you didn't expect. That is the shadow finally being allowed to exist, not as a problem to be solved, but as a part of you that simply wants to be known. This is not emotional drama. It's sacred witnessing, and there's no need to rush. Sometimes the most powerful healing happens not when you try to understand the shadow, but when you sit with it, in silence, and breathe with it. Because the moment you stop fighting it, it stops fighting you. And the tension that once felt unbearable becomes just a message, heard, honored, and slowly dissolving. There's a difference between knowing your shadow exists and choosing to sit with it. One is intellectual, the other is sacred. Jung believed that transformation happens not through information, but through symbolic acts, small gestures of presence, repeated with intention. That's what a ritual is.
A conscious interruption in the noise of your day. A moment where you say, I'm willing to meet myself as I am. Here is a ritual you can begin today. It takes less than 2 minutes.
Step 1. Find a quiet space. Place one hand over your heart, the other on your belly. Let your breath come naturally. Step 2. As you breathe in, say silently, I welcome what I've hidden. As you hold the breath gently, say, it's safe to feel. As you exhale slowly, say, I release the need to control. Then pause. Let the silence settle. Let whatever rises, rise. You can do this once. You can do it every day. What matters is not perfection, but presence. Each time you return to this breath, you build a bridge between your conscious self and the parts of you that learn to hide. You become whole not by eliminating the shadow, but by breathing it back into belonging. Over time, that weight you carry doesn't disappear, it transforms. It becomes clarity. It becomes strength. It becomes you, no longer at war with yourself. This is how you stop being a stranger to your own breath. This is how you listen fully, honestly, gently. And in that listening, you return home. Take one more breath, not to relax, not to fix, but simply to feel. That part of you you've been avoiding, it just breathed with you. Jung was right. What you deny in yourself doesn't disappear. It waits. In your patterns, in your emotions, and most quietly, in your breath.
But it doesn't have to wait forever. You've now seen how even one breath can become a doorway, not away from the pain, but into it, with softness, with truth, with the willingness to sit beside what hurts and listen. So now ask yourself, what have I been holding in my breath for too long? What part of me is asking to be felt today? Am I willing to stop running and just stay? If this video resonated with you, leave a like as a quiet yes, not to me, but to yourself, to the part of you that finally feels seen. And if you want to keep walking this path, there are 2 videos on your screen right now. One will take you deeper into the connection between breath and emotion. The other explores how Jung's teachings reveal the truth your body already knows. Whichever one calls to you, follow it. And I'll meet you there. In the next breath, in the next step, on the path back to yourself. You're not alone. Not anymore.